Hello and welcome. From where we left off from our last tutorial, we were just talking about recycle view, and I thank you for coming through again. Please subscribe and watch my videos and follow along step by step as we grow. And now we need to go on with the most powerful, the constraint layout. It makes your elements be constrained to one another, and you just build your designs more quick and faster, and there is no heavy overhead on this one. It is a recommended actually layout. You need to use the constraint layout. It is improved, the overhead has been reduced, so you won't be hard on your resources. So you guys gonna be choosing the right layout. Not that the other ones are bad, but this one is a more efficient one, and it even improves your development. It becomes quicker. So we're just gonna jump in straight into it. As we all know, a design view, and this one constraint layout, we're going to deal with this in the design view, and I'm going to show you a little tricks about how you can go around with it in the code. But for now, we're just going to go here on the palette and alright, go layouts here. And we should see your constraint layout here, but of course we do not want to drag it in there, because we'll have to delete everything and start aligning everything again. So what you need at this point in time, you need to go to the component tree, and as you can see, we have relative layout here as our topmost, as our parent here of these views. So what you need, you just right click there, and you see here where it is a convert relative layout to constraint layout. You just click there, and of course the warning stages, click OK, and now it's changing. And why do we see relative? Let's see to the code if it's changed. Yeah, it's now constraint layout. Maybe if you see no change in the build, you just need to do a rebuild right here, and it should change to constraint layout, and I hope so. It is changing. As you can see, it's still greater building here. But of course, if you click on your element, if you're already seeing these nodes that are here on the text, that means you are already in the constraint layout mode. And let me show you now the quick way of developing. So we need to just remove these things we are no longer using right now, the gravity start or whatever that was from the other layouts, so we need to remove, what else we need to remove? The gravity here. Yes, of course, we go up. And now whilst we are still in the code, as you can see right now, there are a little bit changes in your code. As you can see, there is a constraint status, parent, constraint table. These are elements of the constraint layer. They are aimed at constraining your elements into certain position. Of course, you can change this in code, but let's go on into our design view and show you how you can do this more quicker and powerfully. So as we can see, mine is still building the grader, but of course we have our functionality. So what you see here is everything is now in positioned constraint. That's why you see these arrows. So what you need to do right now is you go here. If you're seeing your things already constrained for you, you just have to clear all constraints, remove them, and we can do this on our own. If you click on the element, it shouldn't be constrained to any other. So now what we want to do is, if you click on this image, we want to just drag this there, and you click on the other node here and drag it at the end there, and now we have put the constraint left and constraint right. So what we may need to do right now is also place at the top. Alright, as you can see now, the image is constrained to the top, to the left, and to the right. We don't need the bottom because it will align this text at the center here. But of course, if you need that, you can do it. But let me show you, of course, if you constrain it like this, it will be at the center. So we need to delete this constraint because we need it at the top. So now if we check out the attributes panel here, you will see this layout, widget, that there's this thing, the item that is here, that you can set the padding around your text, for now. And you can also remove your constraint from here. If you hover on this node, there is an X that will come there and you delete the constraint. So right now we need to delete the right because we want our text to be at the left, for the left, and we want a margin of like, let's put in 80 so that it won't be heavily at the corner end. And we also want at the top to be at least 16 at the top, Now, when we need to constrain our own name here to the image view, what we need to grab this left part of it, and we're going to constrain it at the left here. Sorry about that, I missed the note. and it's connected to the left, and as you can see, it's already aligned in the alignment of left. And so if we click it here and we set some, let's put some 8 here, and there our margin is 8. Now we need to constrain the top part of it, so we need our elements to go all in one alignment, having the same GP at the top. Another way we could do it, we could just set here and say constraint type, and we put in like a 16 here and press enter, and as you can see, it's aligned here. But what if the image view changes, and then we'll be having to update each element every time we go on and make changes? So we're just going to remove this constraint, at the top, drag back our text down here so that you can see what it's doing. So what we need to constrain our top element here at the top of this image, and automatically it will get the same margin as the image. And as you can see, they are now aligned in the same manner. So that's a good way to do it. So we're just going to do the same thing for the other text here. Line there, put in some dp of 80 so that we can have some spacing, and then align top of that other text view. And as you can see, we have gone around this thing more faster, no code needed in this one, in design and this layouts, and that is more quicker. And of course, if you look at our code right now, you can see the constraints, they are doing this thing on their own. But of course, you can change this on your own right here, and type in the intended view here. There's a lot of things about this constraints, So as we go on further, let's finish off here with the design. And there's another thing you can do if you want to position your text in a center position. So what you need to do is just drag this and place it here at the bottom of the image view, and that should do the trick. And as you can see, our text is at the center. Now, because we aligned, the margin of our top text in the first one to the second one, automatically when we change the first one, we don't have to touch up this one because it is constrained to the top of that other image. So it will just take the properties that are there already and just position itself, in the same manner as the previous one. So that is going to make our design more quicker. And yes, you can see now our text is aligned at the center, of the image. And now that is a first way of developing our steps, And now, before we wrap up about this thing, you can check the docs of Google, and you can view many things about this constraint layout. If you do not understand a single thing, or you want more about this, you can link with me and I'll share another video that is in more detail, mainly focused on constraint layout, if you feel you need more detail about this one. But this is a power, you're gonna learn it and do many things with it. And one thing is, when you're dealing with constraint layout, that there is an option for you to, on the width here, to set it to 0 dp. And what does 0 dp do? It will position your elements, it will stretch your elements. In fact, peradventure you are on a different device screen, it will stretch your element, to the fullest width of what you have on your device. So in the next lecture, we're gonna go in deeper and focus on other things, but you can look at the 0 dp. I'm leaving that as an assignment to you. You can use it. You can use the 0 dp to make a more flexible layout representation. I'll see you in the next lecture.